Hey guys, what is going on? So I wanted to talk about fat loss supplementation and my experience with a few different products and talk about, do I think they actually work, how they can help you with fat loss, how they can help you with appetite suppression, hopefully do a little bit of both, and talk about the dosages that are required to achieve those results, if at all. Okay, so first supplement I want to talk about is Yohimbine HCl. So this is the first one that I ever tried. And it says extra strength on the bottle, so it should be really strong. And based on the reviews of this and, people that I've talked to, one capsule of this should be sufficient based on what I heard from other people. Now, unfortunately, at the time that I bought this years ago, I didn't do enough research, and so I was underdosing it. But one capsule, that's what everybody said was a good amount. And so I started taking that, and I didn't notice anything from it. Nothing good, nothing bad. Maybe it did accelerate my fat loss to some degree, but I didn't notice anything. But considering now that I know that I was underdosing it, it probably didn't do anything. Now, another thing about Yohimbine that the research kind of suggests, before I get into the dosage, is that it needs to be taken in a fasted state. And so luckily I was always doing intermittent fasting when I was taking this, so that was not even an issue for me. But if you've taken Yohimbine in the addition to food and you've not taken it fasted, well, maybe you're not getting any result from it and you need to take it fasted. At least that's what the research suggests. So anyway, got to take it fasted for one, and two, based on the research, the dosage that you need is way higher than what pretty much everybody seems to take. So 2.5 milligrams in one capsule of this. What is the recommended dosage, or at least the dosage that they use in research? 0.2 milligrams per kilogram. So I weigh 120 kilograms, or in pounds, it's a little bit over 260 for me. And so that is about 9 to 10 capsules of this Yohimbine HCl. So I started taking more. I started taking 2 capsules, 3 capsules. Now, for 2 capsules, I didn't feel anything yet again, no side effects. But at 3 capsules, I started to feel that cracked out feeling. And I decided if I couldn't handle 3, how was I going to handle 9 or 10 if that is the dose that is recommended? So as opposed to going down that rabbit hole and, maybe I could titrate my dose up and I would tolerate a higher dosage over time. But it seemed like 9 or 10 was so far away from where I was at that I decided to opt for something else. So my next product that I've experienced is A2AM. So this has alpha yohimbine in it. And alpha yohimbine is supposed to be more potent and tolerated better. So I don't know the equivalent of how much alpha yohimbine would yield. So is 3 milligrams equivalent to 6 milligrams, or is it equivalent to, 9 or more? I don't really know. And I tried to go through the research on this. And if you guys have any sources for, what the recommended dose or the research dose is, let me know. But based on what I could find, there is research on yohimbine, but not really too much on alpha yohimbine. So as far as I could tell, I just kind of had to experiment for myself and see what worked. So anyway, I wasn't taking alpha yohimbine in isolation. I was taking it with A2AM. This has, the max dose has 3 milligrams. So I knew that I could tolerate 3 milligrams because I can tolerate the max dose of this product just fine. Now, I didn't have a way of gauging if it was increasing my rate of fat loss because I've traditionally done a very aggressive cut. And so when I used that product during my last cut, I lost 25 pounds in 7 weeks, which is maybe a 1,500 to 2,000 calorie deficit per day, which is obviously very aggressive. And it required me to eat less food than I wanted. So I wanted to suppress my appetite. So the way that I see this product is at 3 milligrams of alpha yohimbine. Maybe that's a sufficient dose. Maybe it's not. I don't know yet. But this works really well as an appetite suppressant. So if the alpha yohimbine does nothing, you can at least, get the appetite suppression quality out of it. So to me, this is, my favorite fat loss supplement that I've ever taken. And I got really good results while I was taking it, and I was able to eat less food, and that's great. So I would recommend that in terms of maybe you get some fat loss, increase from the alpha yohimbine, but you definitely do get that appetite suppression, at least at the dose that I took, or at least in my experience. So I figure that is, no matter how you slice it, that's a good fat loss supplement. It is a little bit more expensive than Yohimbine though, so that's something to keep in mind. And then you got Rauwolsine, is that how you say it? Alpha yohimbine, which is, again, in the A2AM. So this is Gorilla's version, but I think you can get this elsewhere. And I just started trying this in isolation for the first time. And so, again, research seems to be limited on that. I should probably look to see if there's more. But if you guys have any experience or research that you can show me to talk about the dosage that is necessary for that, let me know. Comment it so I can know, so anybody who watches this video can know. But again, 3 milligrams, I've already taken it with alpha or A2AM, and so I already knew that I could tolerate 3 milligrams. So I started taking 1 cap of this per day this week, and I'm gonna titrate up to 2 and see if I can handle that. And if I can, I will probably be going for this, because my feeling is that if 3 capsules of that, which is the equivalent to 7.5 milligrams of regular yohimbine, if that makes me feel cracked out, but I can tolerate 2 capsules of this, which is 6 milligrams, and this is supposed to be more potent and, you know, less side effects, according to a lot of people, this seems to be more tolerated. I have a feeling that 6 milligrams of this should be much better than 7.5 milligrams of that. And possibly this may be, you know, better tolerated and have a better effect, which is just a win-win. And considering I'd have to take, you know, this would be 27 servings if I took 10 capsules. So that's actually not a very good value, is it? Whereas this, I think this is 20 or 30 bucks, I'm not sure, but there's 90 capsules in here. So if I were to take 1 capsule, if 1 capsule is sufficient, then you're good to go. If 2 capsules is sufficient, that's 45 servings. So, you know, that's like double this. So if this is 20 bucks and this is 40 bucks, they'd be about the same. I actually don't know the price of this. So it might be like 20 or $30. Maybe with a code, it's less. You know, I know, like I have a code, for example, brings 10% off. But anyway, I'm going to try and titrate that up and talk about my experience with that. I'm actually tracking my calories very closely this cut, and I'm doing a little bit more of a slow cut. I'm aiming for about 2 pounds of weight loss per week, and at 260, that's not that aggressive. And I'm not doing any cardio either. So I have been tracking my experience with my cut so far and my rate of weight loss. And now that I'm throwing this in, I will have a way to kind of gauge what was my weight loss before taking this, what was my weight loss after. I'm not doing any cardio, and I'm keeping my calories the same. So considering that, I should be able to give kind of a good idea, at least for myself, if taking this is going to improve my rate of fat loss. So I will give updates on that and updates on my cut as I go. But I just kind of want to talk about that for anybody who is considering trying fat loss supplements. I think this one, even if alpha yohimbine does nothing, this is a good appetite suppressant at the very least. And some of these other ingredients maybe do something. I don't really know too much about all that. But that is a good option in my opinion. And if you only want to go the yohimbine route, I would suggest going with this because it's usually more tolerated than this. And if you need to take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 capsules of this, I find that that's probably a hard ask and also not super cost effective either. So anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts on fat loss supplements, kind of my guide in terms of, you know, using the A2AM as at the very least an appetite suppressant, but also potentially helping to increase fat loss via the alpha yohimbine, taking the alpha yohimbine as that, you know, fat loss supplement as well. And then in my opinion, yohimbine HCl for the vast majority of people, even myself, who is a stim tolerant person, I think, you know, using an adequate dose of yohimbine HCl is just not going to work out. So I wouldn't opt for that. But that's just my experience. If you guys in the comments have taken 20 milligrams of yohimbine HCl and you've been fine, let me know. As far as I know, I haven't heard of anybody or talked to anybody who's been able to tolerate massive amounts of yohimbine. Seems to be a very, you know, potent supplement. So anyway, just kind of giving my thoughts on that. I really want you guys to chime in if you have experience with these products. And, you know, even with this, I know a lot of people say 1 is plenty for them. They feel, you know, a lot of effect from 1. They probably would never want to go up to 2. But considering that is 3 milligrams of alpha yohimbine and this is 2.5 milligrams of regular, I feel like that's still more tolerated than regular. So I would probably go for that if you have no experience with them. But again, the A2AM I think is a winner either way, just via the appetite suppression. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I will keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.